Hello and welcome to the Two Robbies Podcast, your destination for in-depth discussion and analysis of the Premier League. I'm Robbie Mustoe, he's Robbie Earle, and here are today's topics. Harry Maguire's late heroics seal all 3 points for Manchester United at Anfield as slots Liverpool's slump to a fourth straight defeat. Ange Postecoglou gets the axe just 19 minutes after Chelsea chopped down Forest 3-0 at the City Ground, and Arsenal edge Fulham 1-0 at Craven Cottage with yet another set-piece goal to stay top of the Premier League. That's what we've got coming up in today's episode.
Well, my friend, only one place to start. Anfield, home of the champions, facing their biggest rivals, Manchester United, the two most successful clubs in English football. I kind of think, Rob, before we get into the detail, that there was a thought that Liverpool, off 3 straight defeats in all competitions, maybe it'll be a day to kick into gear and get the job done. For Manchester United, could they go back-to-back first time in the Premier League? Could Ruben Amorim put a performance together that gives a bit more hope and belief? You know, this year he was backed by the club, wasn't he, about Sir Jim Ratcliffe coming out and saying it could take 3 years and he'll be given the time. I'm not sure anybody quite saw a 2-1 Manchester United victory.
Yeah, they didn't. Quickly, I think part of the story of this game, Rob, was the team selection.
Yeah.
Unchanged Liverpool after losses, and he stuck with the same guys, said, let's continue going, I believe in you guys. But Man United, after a victory against Sunderland in their last game, they made a couple of changes. Harry Maguire was one story.
Correct.
And the other story was Matheus Cunha was in for Benjamin Šeško. Šeško scored in his last two. And, you know, we had a little conversation about it, and is he overthinking it? Is Harry Maguire the right guy to go up against, you know...
Possibly Isak, wasn't it?
Alexander Isak.
Pacey.
Wow. And we did kind of think, well, his main advantage is his set-piece prowess.
Yeah, he talked about that, didn't he?
So that obviously came through. So the decisions of Ruben Amorim worked out great.
Yeah.
But just go on then, Rob. Why don't you get started with... I mean, there was so much to talk about in the game, so much drama, so much action. Brilliant game of football for us to show and react to. What's, I guess, the biggest kind of headline at the start when you think back at this match?
The headline at the start is that the champions are totally out of tune. That's my biggest takeaway. And before Manchester United fans start, I'm going to credit them because I thought they were in tune. I thought there was a spirit and personality about them. They had to hang it at times. They had a bit of luck with the ball coming off the post. But you know what, Rob? They deserve the luck. Harry Maguire, who was very close to winning my underappreciated performer of the week, only that he's an England international and probably is more appreciated by people who know him and people who watch him regularly. And a big call up front where I thought the Cunha and Burmo Mount mobility probably caused Liverpool more problems than Šeško being a central figure who they might have fought with, and I don't think would have caused them as many problems. Yeah,
I think so. You'll never know.
No.
I mean, to be fair, Šeško makes that run, and Burmo's kind of goal that he scored running in behind Van Dijk, which we'll get to. I think he makes that sort of run as well. But anyway, I think the two of them were very mobile. Cunha, I just like Cunha. I think he's a very busy player.
Surprisingly, no goals, no assists yet. Yeah, he's playing particularly well.
He's playing particularly
well.
The
goals will come, won't they?
Yeah, I mean, I think for Manchester United now on the back of this, and you know, in terms of performance, it had most things that you'd want, particularly away from home at Liverpool, the champions, the biggest rivals. I mean, they had to defend for long periods. Rob. They took advantage of moments going forward, the set piece, the really 63 seconds, the goal that they scored to get in behind Liverpool really well. I think that the biggest thing, like I know you asked Rebecca in the Lowdown show after we did our main show, you know, is this a turning point?
Yeah.
I think it's an opportunity to kick on and to have a consistent run of performance and results. That's what that does. You know, another day they could have certainly drawn the game, possibly lost the game, but they didn't. No. They found a way to win, and they held on there. And it could be a situation now, Rob. They're 2 points behind Liverpool. But more importantly, they're looking up. They're looking up in the table, and I think Man United fans will start to be more excited about that, about looking up and not thinking about, you know, towards the bottom half of the season. So that's what's really important for Ruben Amorim. I know Sir Jim give him a bit of a vote of confidence with that statement, but I think that's the important part. Is now can they capitalise on 2 wins, some feel-good factor, and you got your front 3 players that ended up. They finished the game, or I know Šeško came in, and you had the front 3 that we'd like to see. They're all fit, so now is the time to judge the players, the manager, well, you spent a lot of money in the summer on new forwards. Now we're seeing it. Now it's a fair amount of period where, all right, you should have improved the team with those signings and that money spent. Can we see it on a consistent basis? 2 games in, great, but still work to do on that.
Yeah, I'd agree. I sort of my takeaway is it was points and progress today. They got the 2 Ps. I thought that, the 3 points were important for them to go back to back and kill all that. It was the first away win since March. Apparently, since they would beat Leicester 1-0. It's crazy for a team. Yeah. But it's added to all that. But I thought there was a bit of progress, Rob, and we've said that along with Ruben Amorim. Regardless of where we are, we've got to keep seeing some progress, and that was a step in the right direction. So
I think
we'll give credit
Brian and
to
Burma, Rob, deserves a little mention, I think, for Manchester United, and others, of course, as well. But he seems to me that he's in. As a right forward, he's in a team every week. He's consistent.
It looks like the play was at Brentford. I think that's the biggest compliment. He's gone to Manchester United. And I remember, Rob, it was really interesting in the summer series. We sat down with Ruben Amorim, and he didn't play Brian Burma until I think the last game of 3 that they played. And he kind of said, it's so important for players at Manchester United to get a good start. And he said, I wasn't going to put him in the best position. Like, he wasn't fully fit and all that. He said, I don't want the fans to see him. I want him to...
A good initial impact.
Yeah, and he has had that. And he's got goals, and he's been unlucky. He's had a couple of good goalkeeper saves. I think he's hit the post once or twice himself. But you're right, it's a good shout. He's sort of seamlessly fitted into a Manchester United team and gone, the step up. And that's looking pretty good business.
The other person, Rob, before we switch to Liverpool a little bit, Lammens, the goalkeeper. I mean, they've got...
Might have found
the guy. I mean, I know, it's only a couple of games in, but he looks pretty confident, pretty assured. He's young. It's an incredibly heavy jersey, like a goalkeeper. That football
centre forward and goalkeeper at Manchester United are the 2 most critical positions in that team. And you're right. I think, was he 23 years of age? Royal Antwerp. I know he's Belgium. Thibaut Courtois, his mentor apparently, and he wants to get to that. I thought he did particularly well, Rob, when there's a shot that Mo Salah, and we'll talk about Mo later, but he hits it over the bar, snapshot. I thought Lemons come out and looked big and aggressive and flying out, and he kind of affected Salah a bit. He got his first clean sheet last week against Sunderland. This was a step up, Rob. Going to Anfield to play the champions was a test of nerve as much as ability, and he came out firing. So, it's a good shout.
Into the game for Liverpool, Rob, the storylines were defensively concerning, conceding a lot of goals for them. I think twice as many as the same point last season. In fact, more than that. The midfield fluidity hasn't been the same, and the attacking punch hasn't been there. Players out of condition. One of the stories from the lineup is that Ugo Ekitike, Rob, that looked so good initially the first 2 games of the season before Isak came, continued on the bench. And it was Isak, who the manager had said, you can now start to judge him. He's in good shape. Physically, we give him extra work. He was a story to stay as a centre forward. And Mo Salah, his struggles on the right. And after that game, is there those concerns still there? Or
nothing changed. 90 minutes of Liverpool today told me nothing has changed. Mo doesn't look any sharper, look any more like scoring. Isak looks below the level that we saw the sharp forward who Liverpool decided they want to go through all this for and pay the kind of money. Ekitike came on and affected the game, as did all the subs. In fairness to Arne Slot, he made subs that did change the game. Engamo on the other side as well. But, and I said on air, Rob, when I look at Liverpool at the moment, I don't feel there's any one part of the team that's playing particularly well, that's reliable, that's consistent.
Well, let's start with that then. Let's start from the back line, right?
Yeah.
Let's start with the back line. And the first goal today, Virgil van Dijk, Robbie Earle, is a player that we generally have adored him.
He's been in Rolls-Royce, hasn't he?
Magnificent player. There's been a few questions of whether he's lost a step or whether he's, maybe dropping off a little bit. I don't know. I thought he was at fault for the first goal, for that quick goal.
You highlighted, didn't you, the run in from Mbeumo and that he didn't recognise it.
Is he preoccupied? I'm just trying to give him an out here. Is he so concerned with Milos Kerkez that he's took his eye off his own game and thinking about helping him or berating him or...
There definitely feels to be, and again, I said to you before, I've watched a bit of tape, there seems to be a little bit of wouldn't say unrest, but between a little bit of something between him and Kirkez. A couple of times he balks at Kirkez and that, and Kirkez doesn't look happy, and vice versa. I wondered, Rob, and this is my own thought, no statistics, no data to back it up. I just wonder if he's affected by Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andrew Robertson not being in the team. He's played 6-7 years with us, knowing where they are, and relying on them. They know when they can get forward. They know when they need to get back. He's almost had like a telepathic relationship. The right-back situation is a bit of a problem. Conor Bradley did okay today, but not great. Frimpong came on. Szoboszlai's dropped in there. That isn't it. The Kirkez thing, I think, is a bit of an issue. Doesn't look like they are on the same wavelength at the moment.
But it shouldn't affect... He's got to make sure he does his job, Rob.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But maybe if he's kind of almost worried about it... And by the way, let me just throw one more thing to you. Ibrahim Konate's not been at the same level that he's been. So all of a sudden, like, I'm worrying a bit, my right back's a bit different. My left back's, we haven't got the relationship. And then my partner's not quite at it. I know what you're saying, like, well, that's more reason for him to have his game right.
He's more preoccupied with worrying about other... Yeah, and it takes off his own game.
Yeah,
I mean, most of the time in games, and he looks magnificent.
Yeah, of course.
But that first goal was like, what? That you should have covered that run and... Just a little sloppy, a little slow getting back there, and Konate couldn't come across. Into the midfield then, Rob. So what's the issues in there? How do you feel differently?
I feel like McAllister, I think, generally is not hit his level yet, hasn't hit his rhythm. Graham Birch was back in the team, does well. Szoboszlai continues to play in 2 or 3 positions and can affect the game. You know, he's the one that...
he's untouchable really at the moment with his work ethic and what he does.
But the balance of that doesn't look right. And the control, Rob, one of the big things they had last year was I felt they controlled the opposition better than they are now. And I think they're getting more exposed because it got a bit basketball today. You know, Man United having shots hitting the post, Liverpool having shots hitting the post. Now, which is great for us, you know, the highlights and neutrals, but it ain't great if you're Liverpool Football Club. I mean, it ain't great if you're Liverpool's defence and people are making runs through you all over the place.
They got through quite a few times very easily. It wasn't as though Man United did brilliant play, though I've got to say the ball from Bruno for Maguire's winning goal was a brilliant cross.
Was.
But they got cut through a few times. Moving forward, so... I thought Cody Gakpo, Rob.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty unaffected. I think well done to him because I think his level and his numbers are pretty good.
Yeah.
And they're normal Gakpo numbers in terms of goals, assists.
Yeah.
He's a consistent player. He runs up and down really well. Of course, he missed an incredible opportunity at the end to get something for the game, possibly. But I think from what we expect of Gakpo, we're kind of seeing it. Alexander Isak, Rob, and Mo Salah.
Yeah.
Talk to me about either one of those first. Let's start with Isak.
Yeah.
It's never easy going to a different club.
No.
And we know the pre-season was unaffected. But the manager says now he's in good shape. Should he have done better with that chance?
I think he should. I think a sharp, on form, Newcastle-esque Isak buries that. I think he buries that. I don't think the keeper has a chance to move. I'm going to throw one back at you, Mustoe. If you're on a slot, in any way does Isak's fee outweigh Etikite's form?
Yeah. 1,000,000%, yes.
Well, I hear you. So I'm saying Liverpool go to Brentford next week, away at Brentford, which is going to be a difficult game. We'll review that. But just let me make my point. Based on where we're at, and Arne Slot saying he had 2 90 minutes with Sweden. He's had some games. He's had some training. He said, like, we can start to judge him now. Based on that we're now at equal level, Ekitike should start ahead of Isak.
He should start. I mean, Ekitike's kind of energy when he came into the game in this match, like he made, he helped with the first goal, didn't he? I just going back to that point. Yeah, right now in terms of form, Ekitike's playing great, and Isak's not.
Yeah.
But I think you've got to, regarding the fee here, but you've got to think about the potential level.
Correct.
Right, and Isak's potential level is. We don't know. We're not sure where Ekitike's ceiling's going to be. But
we kind of feel we've seen him, haven't we, in the Premier League?
It's a balance between let's let him get to this level that we know he can get, Or are we going to... He ain't there yet. Are we going to sit him and then...
How long do we wait,
Well, I don't know.
How long do we wait?
That's a good question. I think he might get another game.
So the Brentford game, again, another week's work. I mean, they've got a game, Champions League, haven't they?
Oh, they have.
Eintracht on Wednesday.
Yeah, they have on
so
on Wednesday.
So that's Champions League. Game, whether he decides
so
to...
he might switch him up for that.
Switch him up, and then does he give him another shot? I mean, I'm with you. If both start playing at the capacity, Isak goes another level, and we know that, and we've seen that, and that's why you spend that money. But kind of, Rob, if he's not at that level, and I'm on a slot, I kind of feel like this kid's flying and doing well, I got to play him.
I'll go back and say it again, and maybe in a few weeks, months' time, this will sound silly, but when we saw Isak the first time at Anfield, we saw those first few games, and we said, he looks really comfortable and bright and effective and scoring goals.
Yeah.
Do they really need to continue pursuit of Isak?
Yeah, you
Obviously
did.
they did. They spent the money,
strong,
and now you have that difficult situation where one's not going to start.
Okay, one man who does start every week, Mo Salah. I think it's 2 goals so far now in 8 games. Missing a few chances that he would normally take. Not quite looking the same player. Now, Rob, out there, and everybody's got their, Salah reasoning. Is he missing Trent? Has he got the right relationship? Is it since he signed the contract? Or the midfield getting him the service where he wants it? You take your pick of which of the reasons you don't feel. How do we get him back? What do we need to do? Is he somebody who would you would drop, or does he respond badly to that kind of thing?
It's a good question, isn't it? And again, I think the reasoning that he hasn't been dropped is that the potential's course there.
Yeah,
and
the numbers.
He's, is it one of them where there he goes, he's starting to score goals, and then he starts going on a run. I mean, I haven't checked out the data and fact on this, but I was listening to somebody talk about Mo Salah, and from the back end of last season, he wasn't scored that many goals from open play.
Yeah.
And it's kind of continued as if the effectiveness of his talents and abilities is starting to wane. Again, I haven't checked the numbers on all that. It's interesting when you think back, and I don't know. Does he get... I think he is the sort that gets quite a few more games because of the history.
Yeah,
Robert.
absolutely. I mean, the numbers alone, mate.
Yeah,
but
right now, I mean, the chance that he had, he kind of shanked off his wrong part of his foot. It's like, wow, this is so not Mo. But I don't know. We'll see. But between those things, the last thing on this, Rob, and I said it on our show, but Slots, strong words like, we just need 1 or 2% more effectiveness, energy or focus in defending bits. And attacking bits. So that's the difference so far. They conceded goals, they haven't scored. And today was exactly the same. Back to the first question.
It was penalty boxes, wasn't it?
It was penalty boxes. And Verge, a little bit more percentage effort stops that first goal. And some of those finishes and a little bit more focus, determination. It might have made a difference.
Yeah, it could have been a different score, couldn't it? Yeah.
He'll try, I guess, for the next few games.
Yeah. Well, it's credit to Manchester United on a day, obviously. Yeah. That's 4 straight defeats now for Liverpool. Go into the Champions League and then Brentford next week. Can you imagine, from last season what they did? It's all up for grabs, my friend.
It really is. All right, next game we're going to look at, Rob, is Nottingham Forest. Oh God. Nottingham Forest 0.
What's the biggest story? The biggest story was what happened after the game. Let's quickly go through the game, because I thought that was important as well. I thought for 45 minutes of the game, Chelsea was sloppy, were careless, gave the ball away, and Nottingham Forest could have conservatively been 2-0 up at half-time.
Absolutely right.
Morgan Gibbs-White had 2 chances. Awani back into the team, missed one, and Elliot Anderson should have taken the shot when he comes back. Yeah. So those were the 4 really good opportunities. They didn't take any. Chelsea made subs at half-time, got better. Achampong scores the first goal. Bit of a goalkeeping mistake from me with the Neto free kick, and then Reece James scores from a set-piece. 3-0 scoreline. Ange in the middle of the pitch with the iconic picture of him looking into the stands, clapping the fans, and most of the fans have left. And then within 19 minutes of that,
the game finishing.
The game finished. We hear the news, and Rebecca jumps onto us, and we have to stop everywhere we're going on about the next game. That the sacking's been made. Yeah. The owner had left his seat apparently at 66 minutes or something, didn't he? Ange Postecoglou was told by an official of Nottingham Forest that he was no longer required and he was sacked and he had to leave the building.
Yeah, I mean, we can go back and the start of this and the Nuno nonsense that will continue to be my very strong thoughts on what's happening at Nottingham Forest. Whatever happened between the owner and Nuno and Edu who came in, that was not good. Not good for the team, not good for the fans, not good for the football club, because they had a perfect man in Nuno who did a remarkable job last year. And now it looks a mess and a shambles.
For non-footballing reasons, you tend to feel, don't you? Like, not absolutely. Usually if results aren't going, the manager gets sacked. Graham Potter and Ange Postecoglou. It was nothing like that, was it?
Yeah, I know. And
avoidable.
Now, and then they hire a guy that's so different. And then not give them that much time, 8 games, to turn it around. I think the thought must have been from Marinakis, okay, let's play some entertaining football. Let's have a go a little bit. This guy's available. He just won the Europa League for Tottenham Hotspur. Let's bring him in. I want to see some entertainment. And I guess it's like, is this going to work? If it is, great. If not, I'll change it. And that's what's happened. I mean, Ange knew what he was signing for, which we said it like 40 days ago, whatever. It's only 39 days in charge. He knew what he was signing up for. And when those results start getting bad, the pressure starts coming on. He starts saying how great he is and how he's won trophies, etc. And it adds to the story, adds fuel to it. The whole situation, Rob, is combustible. 3-0 loss. We both said it, Rob, after the game. In those 19 minutes, we said he's going to go.
He's going to go.
And that was kind of quick.
Well, just a couple of things. Let's just go back a day before the game. He had a press conference that was very interesting. Kind of a little bit candid with how he came about things, but basically wanted to tell, depending what prism you look through, or you're looking at the weeds, or you're looking at what grows. It was like he planned this rant to come out, regardless of what the first question was. This was planned. It was a 15 or 20 minute one of them classic rants we'll hear and see bits of. Is there a sense, Rob, that he might have been told you got one game tomorrow? He might. This is it. It just, I don't know how it's all been pieced together. It doesn't feel.
And also people have said that there's a 2-week wait, like a break, the international break. It's often a time where you get somebody else
if you're going to
get them settled into the football club, and then that's when I have to. So why wait those times just for one game? Maybe you're hoping it's going to start looking better, performance level. It wasn't a great performance, and I feel with Ange, it's all or nothing. He goes all out for something. They didn't take the chances. No. And then I think we both expected it to fall away a little bit in the second half, though I wasn't so sure on that, but it certainly did. So I don't know.
I just feel sorry, Robert. I was thinking about this, like, Nottingham Forest last season, at one point we're looking like Champions League. There was a bit of disappointment they finished 7th. They get into Europa Conferences, Conference League,
into the Europa,
which is they end up playing in Europe. It should be a season to kind of enjoy and travel like West Ham have done, and we've seen teams, make the most of that. Yet we're going from disaster to disappointment to like looking for a new manager, and to the new manager piece, Robert. I was kind of thinking about this as well. It's like they got to get this right, mate. Now they are in a relegation fight with a group of players who don't look quite sure what they're doing at the moment, and I kind of feel like it's a Cinderella situation, not fitting a slipper, but fitting a team. Somebody's got to fit this group and find a way of Nuno-esque, I think.
Well, Sean Dyche has been talked about, Rob, Roberto Mancini, of course, a champion with Manchester City, has been talked, and also Sean Dyche. And you talking about getting the right guy to fit. Sean Dyche
is a better fit, isn't he?
I mean, it doesn't excite me that much, I guess, but he's available. He knows how to defend. They got some decent players for counter-attacking, though I feel like they miss Anthony Elanga a huge amount. He's not there anymore. But they have got other players that can maybe do things, and I think they have a good chance of staying in the league with him. Would I like to see somebody else a bit more progressive? I've heard shouts of Marco Silva's a big fan, or Marinakis really likes him. But you're really going to pull him out of Fulham? Is he going to go and work
I saw as well named Brendan Rodgers, I saw. Whether he'd leave Celtic again. I know, obviously he left them months ago to Leicester.
But you're right. I mean, I've given Marinakis, we know he's flamboyant and a little bit of a loose cannon at times, but he's did a great job with this club. He spent a lot of money, brought a lot of players in, stayed in the league, got into European football. But this is the first part. That bit craziness is hurting the team. And this next one, mistake with Postecoglou. The next one's important, mate. Because you don't want to be looking over your shoulder, fighting that all season long. From where you've come from and being in the Europa League. It's crazy.
And I think there's an important piece as well with Nottingham Forest, and it is about the club. And it was funny, Rob, because I think during yesterday we unfortunately had to talk about some of the protocols and the Premier League and that. We weren't able to listen to the song that they sing before the game and all that, and it's a proper club that's united, isn't it? Mulligan Tyne, it rolling in, and we weren't able to give as much of that to the viewers as we normally would have liked to. But one of the things that is so important with that club that Steve Cooper had, that Nuno had, is the unity. And I just think I heard on the radio, original thought, but that if Sean Dyche comes, he brings Ian Woan and Steve Stone.
Oh, yeah, good job.
Two legends from Nottingham Forest who will
Forest,
absolutely bring people back on side and connect the football club again. And that could be also
a little, very good shout, maybe Dyche isn't that appealing, but those two players, former players, I mean,
legends,
big connections.
Yeah,
very good players for them. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be long, mate. By the time we next sit down together.
This guy doesn't mess around, does he? Just quickly on Chelsea, just before we move on, Rob, because they got the 3 points. They're sitting, fifth in the table. It's not been great, but listen, they're in and around where they would like to be. 5 red cards in the last 6 games for player or manager over the last game. Any issues, or is that just one of the anomalies and it happens?
It might be, but it needs a conversation in the dressing room with the manager, all of them together. It absolutely needs that. I said the same thing for Arsenal and I think it is just a situation. I think some of them are young players, inexperienced, immature.
The Gusto 2 challenge is
you win if games
you didn't need to do it. One's on the halfway line, one's in the opposition half.
But an experienced player isn't making that challenge. So there's a little bit that's going to come naturally with Chelsea. But I think it is a dressing room. Okay, guys, let's just.
This could hurt us.
This is going to hurt us. Let's cut this out and let's be a bit more smart and sensible about it. But it's a good point. But no, good win for them. Awful first half. They were sloppy as anything.
Second half better. I like when he puts that Gay up top, Robin, and drops Pedro into a 10. They look so much better team. Pedro doesn't really want to play in that 9 position high up the pitch. He's a footballer, isn't he? He wants to get involved in the play, but. Not good numbers, and again showed the depth. It was without Caicedo didn't start, Enzo didn't start, Cole Palmer didn't start. You know what I mean? It shows that this squad's got a bit of depth. Yeah. Okay, let's go to Craven Cottage, where in recent times Arsenal have had a bit of a difficult time getting points from Fulham. We always know Marco Silva's teams well set up, well coached, difficult to play against. An Arsenal team that was, momentum was flying, but it was about, they've beaten Newcastle with a bit of a bogey team. They've beaten West Ham recently. Could they go to Craven Cottage and beat Fulham? They did, courtesy of their absolute ally, the corner kick.
Yeah, they did. And Trossard, how about Trossard?
Leandro
Trossard. Remember our underappreciated, and we used to go Ilkay Gundogan a lot. Yeah. We should call this Trossard. I mean, Trossard's kind of close.
Yeah.
Close to that sort of standard of underappreciatedness. He steps up. The manager loves him, by the way.
Yeah,
plays him a lot on that left-hand side.
Other players, bigger players, quicker players,
so
and
he's
all
in
the
right
rest.
place. A brilliant set piece. I mean, we showed Gabriel's movement. Yeah. There's 2 players sandwiching it.
Yeah.
As this ball's about to be struck in, and he bundles by him, and he steams in. He still flicks the ball on. I mean, Gabriel is some player, mate. I think he's somebody who's grown on me over the last couple of years. Where I thought that maybe we sort of think there's a bit of a rick in him. He sometimes
you're going to make a mistake.
Phenomenal. I mean, a strong team from Arsenal, not their fluid best. It wasn't great. And Fulham, to be fair, I'm guilty of. Look at the matchups and what I've seen of them. Like Arsenal too strong.
Yeah, we're
too strong
in
all
do
areas.
That. Yeah.
And every time Fulham surprised me, say, you know what? They're a good side and they play good football. They keep possession. Every player is good on the ball.
Yeah.
And that's nice when people don't give the ball silly and you can possess it. It takes pressure off. You make the opponents work a little bit, whoever they are. They gave a good game against Arsenal. It was a difficult away game for them. The set piece does it again. Should Arsenal fans be concerned again? Set pieces are great and it's great to be good at set pieces, but should they be getting more chances from open play? And why didn't they
let's...
No Odegaard, by the way.
No Odegaard that loses big creativity. I didn't think the creative players had great days, Eze.
No, he didn't.
Trossard gets a goal, but I didn't think he created as much. Saka was better. Good. He was a better one.
Good, yeah.
The centre-forward, Gyökeres, who's on the 3 goals, it's 7 without 1 now, and his manager said as long as he's doing the job. Made a couple of great runs, got in a couple of good spots, didn't have the finish that he would like, and that's got to hopefully come. That's got to turn into 10, 12 to 15 goals. But I'm less worried about the set pieces, mate. If it's something we work on...
No, we're not worried about it. It's just the open play creativity that some say you can't always score from.
Well, without an Odegaard, and I just felt it wasn't a great day, but Man City don't have great days and Liverpool don't have great days and they win. And Arsenal have got this thing with the corner kicks that not only gives them a confidence, I think gives the opposition a real fear. Like, oh, here we go again. Like, where's Gabriel? Where's Saliba? You know, it's almost like panic mode when they get a corner.
Didn't we show a graphic? I think two seasons and a bit of seasons, they've scored 16 more goals from set pieces. Is it corners?
Corners, I think.
Than any other team.
It's incredible.
16. That's like having a different player.
That's a striker.
That's a
striker's goal return.
To what they got. Yeah. So I just that it's noted that it wasn't easy for them. They win with a set piece, but in other games maybe have to do a little bit more. I mean, you've got to remember that Madueke wasn't playing, Odegaard wasn't playing, Kai Havertz is still out. There's other attacking options that he didn't have.
Yeah. It just never felt like there's times when Odegaard's not been there, and I'm like, oh, you know, it was. With Eze and that, with that depth, with Zubamendi and Rice, and there's depth now, there's quality, isn't there?
About Eze, Rob, last, and this is it's me, and I think
I know.
I know the quality of Eberechi Eze, right?
Yeah.
And there was a period of time when he was at Palace doing great, and we had conversations. I said, but nobody seems to be coming in for him. What is it about him?
Yeah.
And I kind of thought, not always reliable of doing. And a club like Arsenal, the expectations they've got, and it's early yet, and I'm not being too critical with him. I'd love to see him be a little bit more dominant, a bit more influential.
He's what's the word?
Does the game let him drift by a little bit?
Not maverick, but he has to feel it, and he's one of those players, isn't he?
But he won't go and get it and make things happen.
It comes to him, and then he's on, and then he's slinky, and he's smooth, and you know. Again, it wasn't quite his day, whether it's because he'd been on England duty and international. But I know what you mean. But he brings something different, Rob, and it is that spark of difference that I think on certain days they're going to need.
If those certain days could get a bit more consistent, that's brilliant. And that's what the manager hopes for, and that's hopefully what it'll get to. Yeah.
OK, my friend, let's get to the other results of the weekend. So Tottenham Hotspur 1, Aston Villa 2. We watched that game this morning. I'll say scratching heads, but we're all trying to work out what Thomas Frank's Spurs are and what they're going to look like. They get themselves ahead through a well-worked Bentancur goal from Paulinho header. Morgan Rogers with a good strike to bring Villa back before half-time, and then Buendia came on as sub with Ollie Watkins, changed the game. Beautiful goal. From
start to finish.
Start to finish for Villa. Let's look at both these teams, because both are probably as ambitious as the other.
Yeah.
For Tottenham, I know Thomas Frank talked about home form and the fortress and getting the fans behind us, and the game never quite got to that level. I didn't feel for Tottenham.
They're not. The attack was not great today, and that's a concern. And again, it's you know, if we generalise, Rob, our podcast's going to be rubbish. If we just say, well, they're probably going to be all right, but on the basis of this game, Mo Kudos tick.
Yeah.
Excellent. Fans get off the seats when he's a threat.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a really dangerous player. Matthias Tell's a striker. Nothing today.
Nothing, no.
Xavi Simons, $70 million.
Can't affect the game, mate. Cannot, on the outside of the game, can't affect
to deceive a little bit. Very busy, very tricky, but not a lot of end product. And Wilson Odobert, who I like, and had a brilliant under-21s, French under-21s, scored 4 goals in the international games, was quiet as well. Now, that's a lot of your attack. Yeah. You know, I like the back four, I like the goalkeeper, though I think maybe he should have got to one of those goals. The midfield I like with Paulinho. Yeah. It's funny, like you said with Spurs, it's like you see them one week and you're like, they're building, they look pretty good, and then they take a step back. Yeah. So maybe that's natural with a new manager.
I kind of feel the centre-forward position is an issue there at the football club.
But between Richarlison,
Solanke and Matthias Tell.
Is there a star in amongst those?
No, it's almost like put the three together, get the best of all three, and that's where you got. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just wonder at some point might you have to trade one or two to go and get a top class striker.
And also that the midfield, like we're going to see Kulusevski and Maddison under a different manager.
Yeah,
like,
they're going to come in.
You know, how's Thomas Frank going to use those players? So they're missing as well. So, frustrating for them. For Villa, it's been a bit of a struggle to start
5
with,
straight wins now, isn't it?
Slowly finding their feet a little bit. I really like Emi Buendia, and I know he's had injury struggles, and other players have been preferred to him.
Those substitutes on 60 minutes made a big difference. Him and Ollie Watkins. The Ollie Watkins thing was a bit strange, mate. Where the manager talked before, like he came back from England, he was fine, and then by the time we got to match day, he wasn't fine. Something kind of went on there. I'm not sure.
Because they're not the same without Ollie Watkins.
Those runs in behind and the way he plays. And the other one I want to mention, and I think he's been an underappreciated, is our little mate, John McGinn. I couldn't love him anymore, mate. $3.5 million from Hibs.
2018 that was.
2018. He's 31 years of age, looking to sign a 3 or 4 year contract. Robbie, he can play still. He's aggressive. He's industrious. He gets on to teammates who ain't doing their job. He's got a big heart. He has a bit of a laugh with the referee when the referee gets in the way. I mean, you're paying $70 million for Xavi Simons, who can't really affect the game, and I'm not saying he's not a good player, and now paying $3.5 for he's a bit of the last of the old school, Rob. I think.
Yeah, I hope he gets kind of looked after by the club.
Yeah,
because we all know that guy.
Yeah,
he's been around the club a long time,
and all the new guys are coming in.
They get the big salaries, and they, and the steady Eddie is more than a steady Eddie. Sometimes doesn't get looked after, but anyway, I'm sure they get looked after plenty good. But that's good for Villa.
Yeah,
but it feels like they're getting back to their normal level, which the Villa fans will want. It's been a frustrating start for them on the back of the last year's non-qualifying for the Champions League. But no, all credit to them. Lovely 2 goals. I thought the goals there were the stars of this game. Rogers' strike and the lovely Matty Cash volley, the bring down.
Digne, and then Buendia with a beautiful finish.
Brilliant goal. Lovely.
So let's go to Sellers Park for possibly the most dramatic game of the weekend. Crystal Palace 3, Bournemouth 3. This was a crazy game. Kripke gets 2 goals to put Bournemouth 2-0 up. Big JP Mateta gets a couple of goals back and then gets himself a penalty, gets a hat-trick. Then Christie gets an equaliser, and then JP Mateta at the end of the day has one that he smashes over the top. And it was like... I saw Earle actually say he was really mad about how Palace will let back into the game, and that's not the way how he wants to control.
Well, we said in the game we said this can be hard to get back with the way that Bournemouth play.
2-0 up and cruising, but I mean Palace in form and always feeling their goals. But talk about Oliver Glasner, and obviously Gaze looks like that's going to be going at the end of the season. Glasner hasn't signed his contract yet. Any worries for Palace if they lose Gay, if they lose Glasner? His contract's up in the summer.
There's always going to be that in the Palace, and I feel sorry for the fans because it's a brilliant club. Brilliant club, great
and
fans,
they just
great
got
atmosphere.
something going now.
They've really got something going. There's some really good times, and sadly, a club like that, when you get really good results, there's reasons for that, and those people
players and
go
managers
other places, and then your level sort of naturally drops again. I'm gonna go back to their striker. My underappreciated performer is Jean-Philippe Mateta. And in a day, in a season, in a year, in an environment where strikers are everything, particularly this year,
of course, some are strikers.
Is he been drastically overlooked as a striker option of a big club? Let me just throw a few names that have been added to the league: Victor Gyökeres, Benjamin Šeško, Alexander Isak, Hugo Ekitike, João Pedro went to Chelsea, Liam Delap. There's a lot of strikers that's gone to these big clubs, and that guy Jean-Philippe Mateta's been there, banging in the goals, great record so far, consistent, reliable, rarely injured. He's a little gem, isn't he? He's underappreciated.
There's nothing little about him, mate. He's a big gem. What I would say is, he maybe doesn't almost look the right part.
I know. I agree.
He's a bit awkward looking. He's got a big, long body. He's pace. He's got good technique. I mean, he's French international. He's got goals. He's incredible. Since Glasner's taken over, Robbie, his return on goals has been incredible, and his turnaround. And he's a decent age. He looks like apparently great in the dressing room.
Well, he looks like that sort of personality.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good shout for underappreciated. But could he have gone Could he have gone? The problem is, if he goes to Man United and it doesn't work out, people will go,
I got a striker from Palace.
It's that kind of thing. You'd rather go to Leipzig or Sporting and spend 70-80 million on this young, mobile-looking player.
Let me ask you that one: who gets more goals, Benjamin Šeško or Mateta this season in the Premier League? At the end of the day, who's going to get more? I think so.
Big JP for me, my friend.
Yeah. So
yes,
good shout though.
No, underappreciated.
Great game.
Manchester City 2, Everton 0. I watched this game, Rob, because it was one of those 10 o'clocks, and I've got to tell you, for the first half, it was very even, if not maybe Everton slightly ahead. Iliman and Jai was on fire, causing kind of problems, put a ball to Beto, who should have scored. They had a couple of chances. City not at their best. And then second half, the big lad
takes over.
the machine, 11 Premier League goals now. I think it's 23 now, mate, for the season for club and country.
13 games.
It's an incredible return. To the point where we asked Rebecca, and people are starting to say, is there an over-reliance on Haaland that if he gets injured for any spell of time, that could really hurt City? Because every other player who scored this year has only scored one goal.
Yeah, we said this, didn't we, a few weeks ago, and it's continuing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the first header, Rob, the jump and the height he gets and the power of the header. I mean,
he's over the crossbar. He's over the height of the crossbar when he heads the ball.
Heads it down into the ground, into the back of the net. Yeah, let's see. I think when a team's winning games, even if it's just one guy, when that guy's out, sometimes the confidence is such.
Yeah,
somebody else goes up there. Marmoush might be there, and then
yeah.
others might step up. But you'd have to say the over-reliance. I think we've looked at Champions City before, and there's been goals from different areas.
They find
it. Phil Foden getting 17, or Gundogan, or whoever it is getting a number. And right now, we're not seeing it. But, I mean, they sit at this table now, mate, second place, 3 points behind Arsenal, 17 goals scored, the most in the league. So
here's a question, my friend, because I thought I'll chuck this one at you. Name me the 3 players who've scored 10 or more goals in the Premier League in 8 games. So of 8, when we've got to 8 games, these 3 players who've scored 10 or more goals.
After 8?
After 8.
Mo Salah?
No.
Frank Lampard?
No. After 8 Premier League games, they've scored 10 or more goals.
Well, no, hardly anybody. Him?
Well, Earle and Haaland.
And there's others.
Earle and Haaland and Earle and Haaland. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Which takes me to a point, Robin, and I suppose it's about this is about vanity and how you look. He's one of the greatest forwards we've ever had in the Premier League. But people ain't gonna. He's never gonna get that credit.
Why not? Of course he is.
No, he isn't. Because people keep telling you how his touch ain't great, how he doesn't join in.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, mate. I'm telling you. People do not like Earle and Haaland because he's not a complete footballer. He's a great goal scorer.
There's a few of them that haven't been complete footballers but great goal scorers and have the recognition.
Like?
Well, Harry Kane.
No, Harry Kane's a good
Yeah, but there's some things he can't do.
Yeah, of course there's some things. I'm not saying these things there's something about Haaland that people don't like, that people like to jump on. Oh, how many touches he doesn't have, how many this, how many that. This guy's numbers are incredible, mate. Incredible.
Yeah. We'll see on that. Other ones, mate. What else we got? We have got a bit of Brighton 2, Newcastle 1.
Yeah. Danny Wells. I couldn't love my underappreciated for 2 weeks anymore. Every time Danny Wells scores,
keep giving him awards.
I know. He's one of those who should be like, we should give him a lifetime underappreciated.
Yeah.
I mean, to be doing what he's doing at his age, when he's a couple of years younger than Daniel Sturridge, who's no longer in football. I think he's 34. Daniel Sturridge is 36.
Yeah.
You know, I think they played together in England youth.
Wow. Okay.
You know, if you think of the strikers, you know, Raheem Sterling, who's 30-odd years of age and struggling now to find a club. This guy at the top level continues to still deliver the goods. It's an incredible return. After, I think it's 2 ACLs he's had, 2 certainly bad injuries.
Yeah, he had a bad run of injuries, didn't he? I mean, Brighton, Rob, how good were Brighton?
Yeah.
You know, I feel like against Newcastle at home, they've been a real problem. We've watched Brighton in different situations where we expect a lot and it's been a bit
flat.
It's a bit flat. They are fired up against Newcastle United.
They were.
That's a difficult game for Eddie Howe's guys.
Yeah.
And it looked it. I just thought Brighton were really exceptional on the day. Some of those young players, I like Yasin Yari, the Swedish young kid in midfield. I like him a lot. Baliba, I think you pronounce it now. That's a good midfield too. Jakob Minter, that went from Newcastle. So I know the team very well.
You liked, didn't you? Ruter, you said.
I like Ruter.
Yeah,
playing as a number 10.
Isn't
Really good player. Makes assists for the first one. I just thought Brighton was instead of beating down on Eddie Howe's Newcastle.
Yeah.
I just thought Brighton were exceptional. You know, and maybe Newcastle. Where are they now, Rob? They're the bottom half of the table.
Yeah.
A little frustrating.
The big man scoring the goals as well, isn't he?
I know he's scoring
Lovely
the goals.
little back heel.
So why, they've got a good defence.
Yeah.
It's kind of odd. It's a little odd right now, Newcastle, but fair play. I'd rather go on the Brighton because I thought they were excellent. Really, really great.
And one of the stories of the season is Sunderland, mate, unbeaten at home. Sunderland 2, Wolves 0 in a big game where I'm sure Wolves would like to feel they were going to get some points at their first win of the season. It doesn't happen. Mustoe, the fullback, gets the first goal, and then it was an own goal from Krejci, I think, the Wolves defender, that gives them a 2-0 lead. And the scene's up there, Rob. And right now, Sunderland, after 8 games, are 7th in the Premier League on 14 points. If they can kind of double that number in a short space of time, we're starting to talk about surviving, mate.
We are. I mean, we're 8 games in.
Yeah.
They've won 4.
Yeah.
We always say you want to get 9 or 10
9
wins.
or 10 wins.
I mean, they've only played 8 games. They've got 30 games.
Yeah.
They've got 30 games to get them other 5 or 6 wins. So brilliant for them. Really bright.
And I'm going to take this point just to do my underappreciated performer of the week. And it's a name that many won't know. I wasn't that aware of him and did a lot of research. Nordi Makieli, the fullback for Sunderland, who scored the goal.
New player.
He's 27 years of age. He's come from PSG, was French international, so he's got pedigree. Went on loan to Bayer Leverkusen, has played at Leipzig. What I liked about him, Rob, is his versatility. He can play right side centre-back, he can play at full-back. He's an athlete, and I did a little bit of reading on Sunderland and Regis Lebris and the whole. And apparently they sat down when they got promoted and looked at profile of players and said, we need size, power, athleticism as a base to match what happens in the Premier League. Then ability and all the other things. And they went out and signed 12 to 14 players, mate. And Mukiele was one of them. He's a good player. He's 27 years of age. He's going to improve. He's got exactly the right kind of, he's not a kid at 21 where he's still learning. He knows the game and versatile at playing a number of positions. So my underappreciated goes to Makieli and the recruitment of Sunderland that's given them a chance to stay in the league.
Yeah, and also a tip of the hat to a club that can change the team.
Yeah.
And there's examples of lots of change not working. There's examples of change that has worked. Nottingham Forest was a team that made a lot of changes. So fair play to the football club recruitment to go down this road of profiling
they said,
and so far it's working brilliantly well, and it's not
they've had like the Isidores and players who were there. Lefay's a good player who played last year, who's a good football.
Brings it all together.
Jack is a brilliant signing. The kid at the back.
Yeah, you look down the team, there's so many new players, and to make a team so quickly and to start off so well, that's not easy to do.
No.
So well done, that club, and I like the shout.
Good shout.
Michele, absolutely good shout.
Let's go to Turf Moor, my friend. 2 promoted teams going head-to-head. Burnley facing Leeds, and Scotty Parker comes out on top.
Big win for Burnley.
It's a huge win, isn't it? Because they were not in great form, and Leeds were. And all of a sudden, it's brought Leeds back into the 15th with 8 points now. Looks a bit different for them. Burnley now just a point behind them on 17, and it could look a long winter if they can't get a couple of results.
Yeah, it's as it always happens, the promoted teams, obviously Sunderland right now are flying high, but Leeds are kind of drifting lower, and I always think of like the number of points that you need is like it's gone down a little bit, but even if it's 35, 36, 37, 38 points, Burnley got 7 and Leeds have got 8. It's a lot of points to get, over the winter's coming up. I remember, Rob, going into the winter, you didn't have big squads often at the lower teams. It's a grind of games. It gets colder. It's hard to pick up those points. They're going to be in for a long winter, but roll the sleeves up. Managers are bright. They've been there before a little bit. Let's see what they can do. But that for Burnley particularly, that was I wouldn't say a must win, but crikey,
it's a big win, wasn't it?
You want to have some encouragement that they've got enough to win games against some of the so-called weaker teams in the league.
And when you look at the bottom 3 with the Wolves, the West Ham and the Forest, mate, they've got to sort themselves out, haven't they? Because, you think, well, Forest are going to get somebody and they're going to get a boost. Wolves, you feel, with him in charge, he should be getting better results.
Wolves
should be getting better results than they are.
Players have been taken away from him.
And West Ham.
I think Wolves
bang in trouble. I had him down to go, but if they can get on a run, he's the sort who can install confidence quickly. They did that last year and got themselves right out of trouble.
I think West Ham and Nuno are going to find a way. I don't think they're going to be in that relegation zone at the end of the season. Burnley obviously in trouble. Brentford, again, I've said before, I kind of like the squad. I think there's enough good recruitment over a period of time for enough good players there to get out of it. Leeds, question mark. Fulham going to be good. Newcastle, of course, going to be good. Everton going to be good. Villa going to be good. it's going to be a fight. But I think there's a lot of teams on there, Rob, that are going to improve. But could be wrong.
Well, it's interesting you said that. Tomorrow, don't forget, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on USA Network. It's West Ham v Brentford, which becomes a pretty big game now. 3 points for either of those teams makes a big difference to the two London teams down there. So a London derby tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on the USA Network. Listen, mate, we just do a quick preview, don't we, for a game that's coming up next week. I think based on Liverpool having 4 straight defeats, we have to look at Brentford versus Liverpool away next weekend when the spotlight's on again.
Yeah.
Selection will be interesting, certainly after Champions League. Who starts, who doesn't. What do you need to see from Liverpool that starts to give hope?
I'm almost saying it before you finish the sentence. Clean sheet. Clean sheet.
Yeah.
I mean, Brentford are going to drop back. They're not going to have the possession. They're going to win that game. But they've got quick attackers.
Yeah.
They've got quick players on the break. They've got Damsgaard in midfield. They've got enough midfield players to play balls in behind. Kevin Schade up front. Thiago up front. They've got some pace up there. If Liverpool keep getting caught in behind, it's going to continue to be a problem.
Yeah.
You think about what the manager's going to do to affect that, but it's kind of individual stuff. Virgil van Dijk, the back four.
Yeah.
Just I don't know, be better and focus more on defending because there's still a lot of talent there. They've got a lot of chances against Manchester United.
Yeah, they did create a lot of chances.
So I still fancy them to score, but they've got to stop conceding goals. If they keep a clean sheet, I think they win the game.
Yeah.
But right now, they cannot do it. So that's the absolute priority.
It used to be their strength, and they keep clean sheets, and then they know that at the top end of the pitch, they've got people who can win games. And certainly if the G-Tech, even with Keith Andrews, if that gets going and they get a bit of an atmosphere going, it can be a really difficult place to go. So, depending on what happens with West Ham and Brentford tomorrow, that's not an easy place for Liverpool to go. All eyes on that one next weekend. Listen, mate, that's it for this weekend. The first time in 10 years that Manchester United beat the champions Liverpool at Anfield to give Ruben Amorim and his team a massive boost. We'll be back next Sunday, that's October the 26th, when we'll review match week 9, which includes Arsenal hosting Palace and obviously Liverpool facing Brentford. But for now, I'm Earle, he's Mustoe, together with the two Robbies. Thanks for watching and listening. Be safe, stay healthy. It's a good night from me.
And it's good night.
Good night.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.